This is Tom Duty, middle-aged American living in New Jersey near the Lincoln Tunnel. If you were to visit my website, you would type Howdy Doody into Google. You'll find the correct spelling of the famous puppet. You then combine Tom Duty in a Google search from my site. The amount of news I have that I think is exciting and relevant about inviting people to Uber and getting to use my code. And now today is a huge celebration for me. An email tells me I have earned $100 for my hard work. This is the easiest $100 I've ever made in my life. It's absolutely like these athletes that suddenly realize they're getting paid to play basketball. So here we go. I have 4 Instagram posts that are related to this, and the news today is triggered by 2 people. I have 10 people who have used my code. 10 people who could have used thousands of other people's codes used my code. And if you think I'm excited about that, it's because I am. So that number hasn't changed. 10 people have used my code. I've announced this before in earlier videos. What's the news today? 10 people use my code. Within those 10, some things are happening. So first, I get 2 emails today. One tells me Abdullah, who's my most recent. He's the 10th of 10. And Abdullah congratulations, Tom. Your friend Abdullah has hit the road and taken their first trip. It's a grammar error. It should be taking his first trip, but they obviously don't do very well with this standardized text and substitutions and pronouns. But it should say, congratulations, your friend Abdullah has hit the road and completed his first trip. Invite more friends to drive and follow their progress, send them reminders. So by Uber's wording, they seem to think that they have it set up so that people invite. They actively invite. But I am passively inviting. So which is more rewarding, to actively, aggressively pursue people and get yeses, or to passively pursue in one-to-many formats like YouTube, Instagram, Facebook, and get yeses? Well, for me, it's passive. It's just absolutely great. So Abdullah, hit the road again. I wish you the best. So that's the news. He is the 10th of 10 people who have used my code, and he has completed at least 1 trip. Maybe he's working tonight. I don't know where these people are, by the way. Email I get is I can't in the Instagram. I didn't put the full thing. So there is a name proceeding successfully, but in this case, the email had the first and last name. And so to crop it, I would have had to include the last name, which I'm not willing to do. I'm trying to treat the people who use my code as I think they would want to be treated, which is sort of in this, I will communicate to them only one-to-many format, and they have the privilege of staying anonymous. I don't have any reason to believe I'm wrong about that. No one seems to be coming out and saying, hey, Tom, I'm Abdullah, and sending me an email, let me know who he is. So in other words, I have cropped the last name. And so blank, it's Jose, by the way. Jose has successfully taken 30 trips with Uber. And Uber is saying to me, you, Tom Duty, gets $100. A statement for the next, thanks for inviting Joe. So the next sentence goes on, and I cropped it, but it goes on to say that I can send reminders. So Uber does give me the privilege of poking these people, and I'm not doing that. I thought about it at the beginning. Some of you early people might claim that I did. It's probably because I did. But I've stopped. I only sent a few messages. It didn't feel right to me. Nothing about the way I solicited people was an active one-to-one me to them format. So for me to start it after they approached me on this one-to-many format, it didn't feel right, so I stopped. So Uber's telling me to do it, but I'm not doing it. Then the other, so that's 2 of the 4. Here are the 10 people I have. Abdullah, I've talked about this before, and there's no way that shows, but I'm going to step to the computer and share my screen and do this in more detail. Around the icon, and it is when someone uses my code and registers, they have a quarter of the circle completed. The next steps are a half, 3/4, and then full. So when it's full, it becomes like Jose and Keisha. Jose earned me $100, Keisha $10. Don't know why the numbers are different. It's an arbitrary determination by Uber. I mean, 10, and I've even seen numbers like 300. I haven't been paid that amount. I've only been paid 10 with Keisha and 100 with Jose. And that has nothing to do with Keisha personally or Jose personally, what they're doing, whether they're doing Ubereats or they're driving or in their market that Uber's trying to grow. These are the types of things that would go into Uber's calculations. And I'm not privy to that. So Jose and Keisha have full circles. In other words, when they registered, they had a quarter, then a half, then 3/4. And when they completed, like Jose just did in the last 24 hours, their circle gets complete. And now these 3 have a quarter of a circle: Tenora, Nicholas, Mohammed. Now, Mohammed was the first one to register and use my code. And he did that at the beginning of the summer of 2017. And then the second set of 10, that did include, the second set of 10 did include Jose and probably Keisha. But now they've dropped to the bottom of the list because they're now in a different category. So that other 5, most recent 5 that haven't finished their standard is Abdullah with 3/4 of a circle, Stephen with a half a circle, which I think is progress, Anthony with a half a circle, Travis with 1/4 of a circle, and Augustine with 3/4 of a circle. So I have 2 people with 3/4 of a circle. And I don't know how much I would make if they complete. I don't want to jinx myself to try to figure out who's worth what amount of money, because I'm just thrilled. Believe me, I have a video someplace where I just overjoyed about Keisha. She was the first one to register, make progress, and complete her standard goal, whatever it was. It's not set by Keisha, it's set by Uber. And I was just thrilled. So $10, $100, obviously I like 100 better than 10, but any amount of money, to make money like this, is an absolute thrill to me. So the other thing I want to say about Jose and Keisha, I said this exclusively about Keisha last time, and now it applies to Keisha and Jose. Here's what they did. They thought to themselves, chatted with a friend, maybe I'll register for Uber. And what do you know? They did it. But before they did it, they researched and they found someone's code. So they had enough sense to say someone can make some money if I use their code. And that same amount of money is earned by no one if I use no code. So I might as well use a code. Well, I'll get on the internet and find someone. Okay, great. That's a smart thing to do. It's a generous thing to do. It's a thoughtful thing to do. In addition to that, they then completed their hurdle. So they went from inspiration to research to action. And to do something new, maybe they've done some type of on-demand delivery service before, so this isn't really foreign to them. But if it is the first time they've done it, it's a little awkward to learn it for the first time. I'm going to share my screen and go to Instagram. Share. Okay, so here's the 4. These are the 4 that I just talked about. This is redundant. There's Jose and Keisha and that green circle. So in addition to completing the circle, it also changes color. I would call that green. And now here are the three people that were first to register: Mohammed, Nicholas, and Tenora, and each of them have a quarter of a circle. Look at that. If Nicholas finishes, I get $300. And Tenora, it looks like I get 200. So why those numbers are different, I don't know. Why I can't find the button to... Oh, here it is. Here it is. Okay, so that's one of the 4 Instagram posts I did tonight. Now here's Abdullah. He's the subject of an email, an Uber auto email from Uber to me in the last 24 hours. And Abdullah now has 3/4 of a circle. So it says he started making deliveries. It's awesome. Stephen has a half a circle, means he's done the same. But that's not news. That's not an email within the last 24 hours. I would bet if I went back and looked at my previous YouTube on the subject, Stephen would have half a circle. Anthony has half a circle. Travis and Augustine. So that's the status right now. And listeners, I just have to believe that if you registered, you know, you might want to make money by doing deliveries. Obviously, if you registered, of course you want to. But wouldn't you also want to make money in the way I am, by recruiting other people? And the answer is, of course you would. So if you do, the screens I just showed you, and I'll go back to them, these are not prominently available. So I'm not claiming I'm the only blogger who's doing this, but finding another one would probably be tricky. So this information here is in relative short supply. And here's my friend Abdullah, who has hit the road, taken their first, that should be his first trip. Invite more friends to drive, follow their progress, send them reminders. No, I'm not doing that. It's not a terrible idea. I just don't feel right doing it. The way I'm recruiting people, you know, if I had aggressively prospected and I had aggressively solicited people, then to continue that, to chase them into activity might be consistent. But the way I've recruited people, it just doesn't feel right. So I'm letting people go without any spam from me. And then this area here was a name. This is Jose's name, but his last name was here. Jose was on the line before it, so I cropped it. And successfully completed 30 trips. Ouch! 30 is a lot. I mean, I've done 150, but it's taken me a long time. Jose did it relatively fast. You'll get $100 in your next pay. Now, listeners, I have an account in New Jersey and I have an account in New York. The account in New Jersey is the code that I promote. I'm no longer delivering from my New Jersey account, so I'm going to make $100 in my New Jersey account while my deliveries are $0. Now, simultaneously, I've been doing deliveries in New York, but that's kind of cool. I'm going to get $100, and I'm going to uptick my deliveries account of $0. So stop screen sharing. So that's the end of my presentation. Again, the Jose and Keisha, the summary, the summary and what they've done. I'm going to get inspiration. Listeners, I've emphasized this before. I said it a second time. And I'm going to revisit it again. Keisha and Jose, what they've done is not outstanding. It's not exceptional, but in a way it is. They have taken personal inspiration, you know, which is an emotional capacity. Then they've gone and researched, found my code, learned about Uber, registered, which is an intellectual capacity. And then they go out and do deliveries, which is a physical capacity. All right, you know, SpaceX, right, today in the news, it landed a rocket on Earth without damaging it. They're going to be able to reuse this rocket. They've done it a couple of times, but so this is extraordinary. What Keisha and Jose did is less extraordinary. But again, they're only one person. And they don't have billions of dollars like the investors of Elon Musk. You can see my wife trying to look at this table while not getting the screen. You've seen her pass a couple of times. So anyways, Keisha and Jose. Inspiration, which is generally an emotional step. Research, which is generally an intellectual step. And deliveries, meeting this 30 for Jose and something for Keisha. I don't know what Keisha's goal was, the arbitrary goal set by Uber. I know it was less than 30 though. 30 to me struck me as a high number. So congratulations to those two. Special congratulations to Jose because he's reached this mark in the last 24 hours. And to each and every one of you, all 10 of you, thank you for using my code. You could have chosen here comes my wife again. You could have chosen 1,000 different codes. You chose mine. I'm flattered. I'm humbled. I'm happy. Ciao. Tom Duty, middle-aged American living in New Jersey near the Lincoln Tunnel. If you were to visit my website, you would type Howdy Doody into Google. You'll find the correct spelling of the famous puppet. You then combine Tom Duty in a Google search for my site. Thank you for listening. Have a good day, good evening, or restful night's sleep. Ciao.